Hey everybody, my name's Norm and I'm a hot rodder. Okay, the new throttle plates have arrived. As it turns out, both the primaries and secondaries have the air bleed holes already drilled. So I only needed 2 sets instead of having to get 4 sets. But that's okay, now I have an extra set for when I set up my big block. And it comes with 4 pages of instructions on the general installation of throttle plate kits, including all the stuff about staking them and Loctite and stuff like that. So now I'm going to go RTFM. Okay, I checked out the instructions right quick, and it's really actually not that bad. Most of the instructions, like half of them, were just how to take the thing apart. So basically, you put them in, and it's got, instructions on which way to put them in, and you do a whole lot of test fitting and making sure there's no binding. And then for the staking part, all you do is you just squeeze them with some duck-billed vice grips. And fortunately, I got Amazon's 5-piece vice grip selection set for like $20 or whatever. And so odds are I've got the right pliers for that. And as far as Loctite goes, it uses 290, which 242 is red as I recall, so 290 must be blue, and I probably got some of that around, so guess switching up some 290 is the next step. My bad, 242 is blue, not red, and I don't have any 290, maybe that's red. I'll have to order some up. Okay, found some 290 on Amazon for $16, but it takes a week. 290 is the green stuff. So I'll have at this once that shows up. Well, I jumped back on Amazon and checked to see if I could find something faster. Got the same thing, same price, 2 days instead of 8 days. So I'll start filming again in a couple days. Okay, back to working on the carburetors. I messed up and left my phone in my buddy's van for a day or two before I got it back. And so I didn't have the phone available in order to film the reassembly of the carburetors. Both the carburetors are all done except for staking the throttle plate screws, which I still have yet to do. But other than that, they're all done. But let me show you what I did and what you need to look out for, because I did run into a couple issues. Okay, so you're up to the point where you've got your throttle plate and your new shafts in, but you don't have your butterflies in yet. And what you do is the butterflies, let me grab a butterfly here. Okay, so here's a butterfly, and in the instructions, they refer to a letter R stamped onto the butterfly. You can see there's some marks here on this one. And, but there's no R marks on either the old AED or the new Holley butterflies, of course. And then there's a number also. The new ones are the letter. It's not an R, it's a V, or an upside down V, or an arrowhead. And then the ones that came out of the AED are 172V, and the new ones are 215V, and otherwise they appear to be identical, except that 2 of these guys don't have the air bleed holes drilled in them. And the way you put it in is the numbers go towards the center of the carburetor and facing towards the intake manifold. So just like that. And there's your number right there. Your air bleed holes on the outside. And what you do, and they go in from the other side of the plate. The body's not on it, and they go in from this side. Then you put your screws on, or just get them started. And then you have to put on a drop of Loctite Green, which is what the 290 is. And this stuff is about the viscosity of transmission fluid, so it's runny as hell. And when I first did it, I just tried to go like this and put it on the screw, and it got everywhere, and I had to wipe it all off, and it got into like the shaft and stuff, and I had to get into sanding out the bore for the shaft and sanding the shafts down and everything. Eventually I got all the Loctite out of the shaft hole and was able to get the shaft to spin free in the carburetor again. So don't do that. This is what you do instead. You put your plate in the correct orientation with the numbers down and towards the center. You put your screws in from the top side, from the carburetor side, not the intake side. You just get them started, and then you get a little cup or something, and you put your Loctite in that, and then you get a little bitty paintbrush, and you get it wet, and you just brush one drop onto the side of the screw before you screw it down in. And that's how you get it to go together without making a mess out of everything, and get your Loctite on. So then once you've got the Loctite on, then you go ahead and snug up the screws and then just barely loosen them again so that the plate can wiggle a little bit if it has to. And then you flip the linkage back and forth a whole bunch of times to make sure nothing's binding, and then you can go ahead and snug them down. And you do it one plate at a time until you got all 4 plates in, and then you're supposed to stake it. But I forgot to stake it and went ahead and put everything back on. But I can still stake it. All I have to do is just turn it over like this and flip open the linkage and reach in with my pliers and go chink like that. That's all there is to it. And I'll probably like tape this open or something so that I have both hands free for working the vice grips. And I'll go ahead and film at least one of these. And that's it as far as like anything special. Once you've got these staked, then it's just a matter of you put your gasket that goes between the main body and the bowl. I mean the main body and the throttle plate. You put that gasket on and then screw these 2 parts back together with your 6 screws down here. And then you put your bowls back on. And that's all there is to it. Make sure you've got, your accelerator pump arms flipped up in the right direction before you put the bowls on so that your accelerator pumps work. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So let me go ahead and fish up the correct vice grips for this. You're supposed to use something that has a long nose, like a needle nose or something, or a duck bill, as opposed to a shorter nose. These probably won't reach. They're probably too short and small and too wide because they have to get down into the bore. Let's see what we've got here. Flip it up a little bit. Well, those might actually reach. They just might reach. Well, let me see what else I have to choose from. I'll grab whatever looks best. Okay, these are the vice grips that I settled on that I'm going to be using for this. These are large needle nose style. They'll get down in there and without touching the throttle plate or anything like that. Won't scratch anything up. And the basic idea is I just clamp down on it and then release, tighten it up a little bit, clamp down on it some more, release, and keep doing that a few times until I get the right tooth mark pattern on the bottom of the screw. And it's going to be a little harder for me to see because I've got the body of the carburetor on already. I'll have to look down through the bores in order to see when I'm done or not. I can kind of see from here though. And I've got a piece of mechanics wire holding the shafts at wide open throttle so that I can get at everything and have two hands to work the pliers. So let's see how this goes here. All right, that's not quite tight yet. That right there is tight, so unlock them and tighten it up a bit and then clamp it. That worked, but that didn't clamp it very hard. Let me tighten it up a bit more. I'm only going like maybe not even half a turn at a time here on the vice grips. And yeah, that's a little clamping that time. Pop back off. There we go. And spin around and see what this thing looks like here. Well, I can start to see a little bit of a dent there, but it's not as much as I'm supposed to be getting, so it's going to take some more. So, give another about a quarter turn. And just squeeze. And pop it back off. At this point, I need pliers to undo the pliers. There we go. Now, what do we have? Yeah, it's doing it. Still needs a little more. So this also has Loctite on it, and the Loctite definitely does work, so this is a little bit overkill, technically speaking. That might do it. Yeah, I think I'm starting to see that stake pattern. Let's see if we can zoom this up a little. Yeah, you can see the indentations there where the threads are now messed up, which means that the screw can't really back out on its own anymore. So I think I can color that one done. Get the hair off of it. Yeah. So that's the basic idea there. So you just have to deform the thing enough that it's not going to back out easily. And then you've got the Loctite in there as well, and you're good to go. So I think that's going to about do it. Once you've got those things staked so that they won't back out on their own, you just put the gasket on that goes between the body and the throttle plate, and then slap your blocks and bowls back on, and you're done. So I hope that this was helpful for anybody out there who's trying to do the same kind of mod and trying to get true one-to-one action. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, happy motoring.